Hey everyone, my son asked me, can I make something creamy for dinner? So I'm gonna try creamy tomato soup. Let's see if we could do this. So first you're gonna need 2 tablespoons of butter and we're gonna melt this up. Once your butter melts up, we're gonna put in 1 diced onion. Fresh is better. I only have some chopped frozen onions, so that's what I'm going to use today. Now just saute up your onions a little bit. Mine has a little water because, like I said, they were frozen. That's fine. We're going to saute these up, and then we're going to put in 3 tablespoons of tomato paste. Now that we got that in there, we are going to mix this up a bit. Once I mixed that up a bit, I threw in some chopped garlic, and now we're going to mix this up just a little more. Maybe cook it up about a minute, and then we're going to put a can of diced tomatoes. You can use any can of diced tomatoes. You could use whole tomatoes. You could use crushed tomatoes. I like my fire roasted tomatoes, so that's what I'm using. And we're just going to mix this up just a little bit. And then we're going to add in our vegetable broth or chicken broth, depending on what you like. Okay, so I literally put in 2 cans. I filled this up twice so I could clean it out. Of water in here and dumped it in there. Put in a vegetable bouillon cube because that's what I'm using. But you can use vegetable broth, chicken broth, like I said. I'm just going to use my vegetable bouillon cube. And now I'm going to add in some roasted red peppers. Now you do not have to. This is optional, but I like them. So now that I got my roasted red peppers cut up, I'm going to throw them in our pan. And now we're going to let this come to a boil. Okay, and just before it's coming to a boil, it's been on around 5-6 minutes. It should boil soon. I put a teaspoon of sugar in there because I don't like so much acid. The tomato sauce is acidy for me. So the sugar cuts down the acid. It won't make the flavor any different, but if you don't mind the acid, you can leave the sugar out. Now that it's bubbly, I'm not going to bring it to a full boil. I'm going to put in a 1/2 cup of milk. Now, you can use a 1/2 cup of half and half or a 1/2 cup of heavy cream. I used whole milk, and then I'm going to put in a tablespoon or 2, depending on how I feel right now, of cream cheese. This is optional, but it gives it something. Alrighty, so we put our cream cheese in there. And our milk. And we're just going to stir this up a little. And then I'm going to lower the heat. We're going to get our immersion blender. And we are going to blend this. Now, if you don't have an immersion blender, you can use a regular blender, but it has to have one of those steam holes that you can pop up out of the cap so that you can cover that with like a wet napkin or wet paper towel or something, or a damp cloth, and put your hand over it and blend it. Otherwise, it's hot. It will pop off and it will be a mess. Now, we have our blender, and we are going to blend this right up. Now that we got that mostly blended up, I'm going to add the seasoning. You'll add a little salt to taste, pepper, and Italian seasoning if you like. If not, leave the Italian seasoning out. Now that I have my salt, pepper, and Italian seasoning in, I'm going to give this one more little blend. And for the last ingredient, just use some Parmesan cheese. I used this Parmesan and Romano. We're going to mix this up and then we're ready to eat. I'm going to make a grilled cheese to eat with this. Okay, so now we have our soup and our grilled cheese all ready to go. It looks scrumptious. I'm going to just give this a little taste for you guys. Oh, it's hot. Hot, hot. Oh, I love it with the roasted red peppers and the fire roasted petite diced tomatoes. But you can use the regular. But if you want to give it a little zing, I would definitely recommend. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. This video is a member shout out. Thank you to everyone who became a member of the channel and who keeps hanging out with us. We appreciate you so much, and we appreciate everyone who supports our channel. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing.